All right, welcome to Living by Oak Values, and tonight I am with my co-host AJ, and we're going to be talking about
Tempered, not hardened.
tempered and not hardened. So real quick, I want to say that last week we talked about how steel is forged, but here's the harder question. Not every man who survives the fire comes out stronger. Some come out colder. So take us away, AJ, the science of tempering. What do you got?
Well, all right. So steel is built in stages, and the importance of it is repetition. What happens when you break down any of that repetition or any of those points in forging steel? You lose any hardening that you've created with the steel, just like with a man, right? So if a man is not always putting the work in, if a man is not following the steps and the stages and repeating them consistently, then we become unhinged, just like steel becomes unhardened. It's the best way that I think I could state it.
So where do you think that you became hardened?
Well, for me, for anybody that doesn't know me, I was in an industrial accident. Sorry about that. During the industrial accident that I was in, it resulted in the loss of a good portion of my right arm, which then led to a lot of flashbacks, whether it was in my dreams when I would sleep through the pain, which is still consistent and happens just about every time I close my eyes, or the panic attacks. I would say that was the point where I kind of became very unhinged or unhardened. I started to self-isolate, basically. I started to engage with anybody in a negative way when I was around people, but the biggest thing was isolation. I thought that I was protecting everybody. I thought that if I was to stay away from everybody, then that was me doing a good job of protecting them. Excuse me. So I built walls up, more or less. I built those walls up to protect myself. I went into deep isolation. And the way that I realistically went about things was it was all the wrong way, because I was still stuck in an egotistical mindset of masculinity, which is toxic masculinity.
So do you think that you were meant to be steady when you were not? When you were hardened?
Do I think what?
That you were meant to be steady at the times that you were hardened?
I think giving my circumstances with my injury included, I think no matter what, it was going to be very difficult to remain steady. I think that I was going to fall apart in a lot of ways, no matter how I went about it. However, what I should have done is I should have trusted in my wife. I should have trusted in my family, and I should have found a brotherhood. I should have found people that I could have gone to, and I definitely should have at least trusted my wife and not hid the emotions and felt like that was going to diminish who I was as a man. I think that may have helped me to have not became so unhardened, so to say.
Okay. Did you trust in God?
So I did trust in God, but over the years, I'd say I had fallen away from God in a lot of ways. So I never blamed God for my accident. I've never blamed God for anything that happened in my life. But I didn't turn to God. I didn't go to God as I should have. I should have been praying. I should have been at church. I should have been doing the best that I could to have stayed steady under those circumstances. Honestly, as I look back at it now and knowing that I still, so sorry. Let me just take a sip of my drink. Honestly, when I look back at things, I still live with the same situations now that I always did. There is not really a difference. I still have PTSD. Evening, Dennis. I still have PTSD. I still have flashbacks.
Hey, hold up. Shoveler says, and so did Joel, there's an echo on TikTok. I think it's on your end.
My volume is off on my phone entirely.
So is mine.
That's not good.
Are you guys still getting an echo over there or no?
Yeah.
Sounding epic now. Okay.
Sounds fine now?
Nope. And Joel says, yep, I don't know what he means. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Is it because I have no headphones in?
I wouldn't think so. You didn't go into the studio. No echo on YouTube, Matthew says.
So it's only on you, it says. That's what
It's
Shuffle said.
only on me.
Must be that cool MacBook you have.
Yeah, I don't really know what else
Expensive
to
computer,
do. If
expensive
I turn the
camera,
volume up, well, no, that's on the phone. You
expensive microphone, expensive earbuds, expensive. Look at me, I got money. Look at me, it doesn't work.
All right, I muted my opponent. So, oh no, that's not going to work. That's going to mean that people can't hear you on mine. I don't understand what would cause an issue because the volume's not on, which is the point. All it's doing is picking us up through the computer.
It's on your end. That's all I know. Now Joel says, "Don't move. We're good."
All right, so I won't touch anything.
Whatever you did, time to return your stuff and get normal, regular computer stuff.
All I did was push the phone away from the camera.
Well,
the phone and the camera were touching. Perhaps that was the problem.
And it's back again. All right, you're gonna switch to all normal stuff next week. Anyway,
what do you mean? I am on I'm on the same things we always use.
Well,
the only thing that's different is my phone's normally up in the air like that.
If they're going to get an echo on TikTok, we're going to end it because the whole thing is going to be recorded with this thing. So, moving on. So,
pause for 1 second. Why don't I grab my earbuds?
Whatever you got to do. All right, guys, we're going to take a short little commercial break. So, this commercial break is brought to you by Sessions and Lessons. It is an excellent podcast if you haven't heard them. It is Joel Rosario and his wife, Glow Rosario. And they are a husband and wife combo who talk about... They claim self-help, but it's a little bit of everything, and it's really enjoyable. It's a little seriousness, little comedy, whole bunch of great stuff. So check out Sessions and Lessons. They drop new episodes every Wednesday and Sunday, and they are on all major podcast platforms, such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So check them out.
We're good to go now, without a doubt.
All right.
I'm always on my AirPods.
How does he sound now?
I'm always on my AirPods. I've never done it without it, so...
I'm waiting for a response.
Not that it matters. Let's get a response.
Perfect. You're perfect now.
That's the AirPods.
Wow.
Okay, so back to where I was.
Yes.
So knowing today that I still live with the same pain, only 100 times what it was years ago, still have the flashbacks consistently. Sometimes still drop in the car when I see a crane because I think it's going to fall on me. I have panic attacks all throughout the day, unfortunately. Like, there's nothing that's changed other than perhaps some things getting worse. There's no reason why I couldn't have held and conducted myself the same way then that I do now. I could have absolutely turned to God back then. I could have absolutely turned to a brotherhood like we have, and I could have trusted in my wife, which is what I've done now, and which is why I have my wife home and didn't entirely lose her. But when we find ourselves in those situations, a lot of us do break. And it doesn't have to be that you were in an accident or that you had PTSD or you got hurt in any way. It could just be the situation of you're in the beginning of a divorce, or your wife is just starting to get to a point where she's straying away from you and you know that there's something wrong. In those moments, we become very reactive. We're very defensive. We always engage for some reason. We don't understand the slightest bit of giving space. And it's kind of where we've now dropped the repetition aspect of things, right? In the building of steel. So we may have had the other points, we may have gone there, but now we've stopped the repetition and we're dropping ourselves back out entirely. Why are you laughing? What do you got?
I'll tell you in a minute, but...
Yeah, all right.
Go finish up, sorry.
Very sad that the podcast got bummed like that, but I'm dying to know what Cliff said. That's all I can think of is Cliff said it.
No, Cliff didn't say anything. I'm getting messages on my iPad from work. Everyone's trying to be like me right now. And in case you guys don't know what I do, I'm a mailman full time, and I like to live my life like Newman does. And being here on the East Coast, we're getting hit with a blizzard, and I'm not working tomorrow. So the motto is snow, sun, dark, something. That doesn't apply to me. I don't like getting wet, so I'm not working. And everybody is in this group chat about calling out sick tomorrow, but I've already beat him in 2 weeks.
Good job.
So if I'm your mailman and you are seeing me right now, you're getting mail tomorrow. Sorry. Anyway.
So that's where, when everything fell back into place, that's where it was time to go back to the fire. It was time to go back to that beginning step of forging steel or forging a man. You have to go back to number one.
And on that note, I did get this from the Bible, from Proverbs 17:3. Fire tests the purity of silver and gold, but the Lord tests the heart. And like you said, you were falling away from God, and I had fallen away from myself. And I feel like if I had just trusted more in those hard times, that I would have seen that, and I think you would have seen it as well. I know during my divorce, I definitely became shut down and unavailable, and I was very rigid with all my relationships. I thought that the first few people I dated after my divorce, they were going to leave me because I was broken. Clearly, not half as bad as you losing your hand or half your arm, but nevertheless, I still didn't trust that I was full.
Yeah. Welcome, Kratz, and thank you very much, brother.
Kratz, why are you on that side?
You here.
You're on the dark side, Kratz.
He's not on the dark side. So because I brought that up, I was sitting there thinking earlier, and I had wrote something down because I wanted to bring it up. One thing that I really do want to discuss in this, because it brought up my accident, is when certain things do happen to a person in life and you get in an accident or you go through some kind of psychological situation, we lose sight of who we are and we hide from those that are closest to us. And when it comes to our wives, it makes them think that we no longer have the ability to protect them. And if they feel like we no longer have the ability to protect them, at that point, that's when they feel that they have to take that role over as a protector. And when they take on that role as a protector, not only is it something they want, but it becomes something that they can't manage. They can't deal. They're not meant to be protectors. They're not meant to be masculine. They're not meant to be men, and they can't handle it. And that's exactly, in my opinion, the straw that broke the camel's back in my relationship. When she had to take over that place where she had to worry about taking care of her own feelings, taking care of the kids' feelings. Now she also had to take care of my feelings. That became a problem. One of the worst things that I did when I wasn't self-isolating was I would emotionally dump. I would just all out emotionally dump on my wife. Everything. The pain, the nightmares, the panic attacks, and rinse and repeat all day, every day. And before you know it, my wife and 2 kids were out the door, all on the same day, all on the same day. And here I am about to go in for amputation. And now I'm a victim. Like, how could they do this to me? How could they leave me like this? Poor me. And that's the mindset that we allow ourselves to get into.
We become
At
victims.
that point, just like steel, you've now lost all your hardening. And you're either going to go back to the fire or you're going to stay where you are. And if you stay where you are, then you're just going to be alone, unfortunately.
So you have a choice.
Right. You have the choice. And one thing I will say is Jesus shows up for us regardless, whether we are in the fire or we are in the destruction of destruction. But in order to have Jesus work in your life, you have to practice. You have to pray. You have to walk that faithful road. There's 2 roads in life. Jesus clearly sets 2 paths for all of us. There's the righteous path and the unrighteous path. If we don't follow that righteous path, then yeah, sure. You may have believed in God as a child. You grew up just like I did. We believed in God. We didn't understand the Bible. We didn't know much about the Bible, but we knew there was a God. We didn't go to church. We didn't serve. We didn't minister. We really did nothing but just say, oh yeah, okay, there's a creator. Just like we said, oh yeah, we have parents. What was that going to do for you?
There's a righteous road and unrighteous road. How do you stay on the righteous road?
Well, for me, one of the biggest things is through my communication with God. I pray consistently. I keep negative things out of my life. I keep negative people out of my life. I do my best not to sin. I do my best to pay attention to the things that I do. But I also go to church every week. I read from the Bible every day. And I make sure that I minister. I'm here. I always make sure that I bring scripture into our podcast. Try to bring scripture into the men's group every chance that I get. I try to be a good disciple the best way I can and live as close to the way that Jesus lived as I possibly can.
Excellent.
How do you? How do you find yourself?
As of now, I just have to trust in God, trust in my decisions, know that I'm being guided and steered the right direction, because I have definitely gone on the unrighteous path many times in my life.
Yeah.
Too many times to mention. But I always seem to find my way back. This time, I'm sure I'm on it for a while, hopefully forever. But as far as hardened versus tempered, I wrote down. I got to read it. Proverbs 4:23. And I've used this one before, but guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. That goes so well with this because you become hardened and you're going to shut down. You're going to become numb, and you have a choice. And if you guard your heart, then you become emotionally disciplined, and you can lead others with clarity. Just, I don't even know, but to be numb and shut down is a horrible way of living, and that's where I was for a short chunk of my life.
Yeah.
And now I know that I lead with clarity. I lead my daughter. I lead, the guys in the men's group. I lead guys at work. I lead with clarity. And it is when you lose your clarity, you cannot be a leader anymore.
Right. And now when you look back at that time, right, was there anything that was that significantly different in your life that made you not continue to repeat the forging of who you were as a man? Or do you think you missed a step in the forging originally?
I think the step I missed is I was religious when all this happened to me, when I went down the road that made me hard. But like you, I didn't read the Bible. I didn't pray every day. I knew there was a creator. I knew there was a God. And once a week I went for an hour out of obligation or because I had to. And I didn't want to get up and go. I really didn't. This morning I didn't want to either. I overslept this morning. It was weird. But once I got out of bed, I made breakfast. All right, time, coffee, go. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
And two things on that note. Well, not exactly that note. Joel did put something in the comments I want to respond to that. He said, a surfer that doesn't like to get wet. So they have wetsuits. And that is a totally different kind of wet when it's snowing, cold, and ocean fun stuff. So, yeah, we'll leave it at that.
I've never
this morning,
understood
driving to church, and I left a minute later than usual. And man, my new car, I put it in sport mode, and I hit 97 miles an hour on the highway in seconds.
I'll tell you what, I couldn't believe it. When you walked through those doors, I could not believe it. I'm like, wow. I was waiting for your call, too. I was getting a little worried. I'm like, I usually hear from him by now. What's going on? And I'm sitting there, and I'm telling you, I could not believe it when you walked in at the time you did. I'm like, wow, look at him.
And Joel says, wet is wet, my friend. And he is so wrong. so wrong. I don't know anybody more wrong than him right now.
You're losing this battle, Joel. He's got a bag full of tricks, not mail right now. That's what he's got. He's got a bag full of responses for why it's not okay to
it's not safe to get wet
or safe. But
while you're working
I
all
will
day.
say though, it does say 24 to 30 inches, and it says they don't think they're even close to the impact that we're actually going to get. So that is the case.
We're going to be up tomorrow to 2 inches of snow.
I don't think you're everybody's mail's going to be ruined and soaking wet by the time it gets in the mailbox.
It's never leaving the plant. Anyway, let's get back to this.
Yeah,
I had to get that out of the way. And Joel says he's not going to back down, but it's fine. It's not a lot. We can go this all night long.
So when you had to go back to the fire,
yes,
what was it that you had to do to become tempered?
I had to understand I had to take accountability and understand what went wrong, what I did wrong. I had to understand that I needed to really to hone in on myself, to feel what I had to feel and get through what I had to get through. And I want to throw in there that I had to start really bringing God in my life, but that honestly didn't happen for quite some time afterwards.
Yeah.
Had I found him earlier, things could be different. But we've talked about this 100 times on different episodes and different shows that I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change one thing about my life from birth till right now because everything would be different.
Yeah. I understand that. Welcome, Stephanie, to Oak Values Podcast. Thanks for joining. For myself, when I got back to the fire, one of the biggest things was understanding that I could emotionally trust people, that I didn't have to just because I was a man. Masculinity and toxic masculinity were a real thing. Or, as I say now, biblical masculinity, and to the difference of toxic masculinity, right? So I didn't have that biblical masculinity. I had toxic masculinity. I was stuck in my ego, and I needed to trust other people with my emotions. I needed to trust that I could have those conversations and it was not going to break who I was as a man. I had to learn how to stop engaging, how to stop being defensive. Also, one of the biggest lessons that I had to learn is people that are defensive usually find themselves being defensive because you usually are guilty of whatever
Guilty
it
as
is you're
charged.
defending. You're caught red-handed, and now you've got all the reasons why that's not the case and why it's okay. And, if there's one thing that I could say to my old self, it would definitely be shut up,
Man, that wind is whipping.
without a doubt.
That wind is whipping out there.
No. If my son's on here watching, you might be walking home if you stay out much later. Just kidding.
Get an umbrella, come home like Mary Poppins.
Yeah, right. You fly right down the road. So I found myself very defensive. I engaged intentionally throughout that period. I always led with my ego, and it was just a bunch of nonsense.
Okay. Well, I want to say two things. So, masculinity is not domination.
Correct.
It is responsibility. To be masculine is your responsibility as a man.
Sure.
And your son just joined on my side. But
Great.
Joel says,
Yes.
when you say going through the fire is comparable to humbling oneself, you need to humble yourself. So, yes, you do need to humble yourself, but I don't know if going through the fire is comparable.
Yeah, so to me,
I think you become humble after the fire.
yeah, that's kind of the cooling. That's kind of like the cooling area, right? When
Yeah.
you get to that cooling stage, that's where you become very humble.
You've been through it. You can talk about it. You can teach it. But going through the fire, you're really just feeling the pain and understanding why it's there.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, when you like if you're working out, that choice that you get, you can quit now and go home, or you can feel through that pain and grow and become the man you want to be, whether it's emotionally or physically. But going through the fire is the quickest way. So I think humbling comes after the fire.
And it's accountability too. You find yourself, you have to find yourself accountable. You have to, that's a place where you find accountability, you find your values, you decide the type of man that you want to be, and you have to go through it. You have to go through that long, enduring, painful stage of realizing anything and everything that you've done wrong, the places that you're coming up short. And it doesn't matter if that's as a man, as a father, as a husband. That's, to me, is really that fire. And speaking of which, we were going to talk about, go ahead.
This is my forte right here. Bring it on.
Well,
our forte, if you will, because this is fatherhood and marriage. And I suck at marriage, so we'll talk about fatherhood for me.
Yeah. So
wait, real quick, pause right there. We haven't done any plugs yet, except for my commercial break. So if you guys if anybody here is going through a divorce, or they just got the D word dropped on them, go to northmancoaching.com under, is it resources? I think it's resources, right?
Under resources.
Under resources, I have a free ebook. Completely.
I'm sorry. If you go to northmancoaching.com, and you scroll down, the free ebook does come up if you go down. But yes, you can go into resources as well.
So it's on the homepage or resources. It's completely free. It's going to get you through the first 30 days on teaching you how to respond versus react. And those 30 days are the most crucial. They could be the difference between saving your marriage and not saving it, but more importantly, saving yourself.
Exactly.
So get that book, check it out. Do the next one.
Yeah. So also we have a new platform. We have started a new school for men that are going through divorce, difficult seasons in their life, anything. It's you can go on to northmancoaching.com, go to resources, and go to the Brotherhood School. It is less than 84 cents a day to join. We have 4 meetings a week, 3 of which are just half-an-hour calls, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday is our perspectives. Wednesday is application and bridge. And Friday is our RAG meeting. So Monday is kind of about your goals for the week, where your direction is going. Wednesday is about where you've gone from Monday to Wednesday, what you've applied to get to that point. the bridge to go. It's your application. What was to look for?
There you go, application.
Yeah,
Where you're at, where you want to be in the bridge.
yeah, that's your application, to what you've put into the week, and then your bridge. What are you going to put in to apply yourself for the rest of the week? Friday is reflection, accountability, and gratitude.
My favorite
Those
one,
are half an hour calls. Thursday, though, is our motivated men's group. This is Fight Club, gentlemen. This is where you can come in and you can talk about whatever it is that's going on in your life. There is men in there that have said everything that can possibly be said. There is no judgment in the motivated men's group. This is a safe place for anybody to come to talk and work through whatever it is that you're going through, shoulder to shoulder with real men that are in the same place, been in the same place, or got through that place. And we build together brick by brick. We do have questions, a couple of questions that start off the motivated men's group every week. They are pretty deep, and they are to get you to really work on yourself and realize where you're at and continue to keep yourself going. We also at northmancoaching.com, Gary has a free 60-minute coaching call where you get the opportunity to call him and he can learn about you and you can learn about him. And if he's a good fit for you, then excellent. Gary has 2 spots open right now.
Still 2
for
spots.
one-on-one coaching. Also, if you do not find that Gary is the person for you and you're looking for a different type of coach or a coach to take you in a different direction, we have many different coaches that we work with, that we are friends with, that Gary will absolutely send you to if that is the case.
Yes.
And on the other side of things, we have a couple of authors that are in our groups, and I'd like to show their books. So Joel Rosario has a book called May December End, the Ballad of Joey Flowers. I hope everybody can see that. You can find that on Amazon, Kindle, and Nook.
And BarnesandNobles.com.
Say it again.
BarnesandNoble.com, he said the other day.
Barnes and Noble now, that's right. And then we have Ember Sworn, the 90-day transformational ritual system. And that as well, you can find on Amazon.com. I need to actually ask Ember. I'm not sure if he's anywhere other than Amazon. Do you know?
I don't know, but I do know that he's got another book. I think it's coming out April 7th is what I heard.
That's right. He does have another book coming out, but we want to throw that out. Also, Joel Rosario and his wife, Glo, have sessionsandlessons.com. You can find them on Spotify. You can find them on every application with a podcast now. They're a terrific husband and wife duo. It is a great listen. They go over many different topics, and it really is unbelievably enjoyable. I so enjoy listening to the two of them. And now, Glo.
Hold on, let me take this one.
All right. You got it.
And Joel's wife has her own podcast now called Glowing Off Script. And I'm taking this one because I was honored today to be a guest on her podcast. I'm not sure when it's coming out, but it was a true pleasure. I got to speak to Glo about all kinds of things, my life, my past, my shady checkered past. I opened it all up for her. Talked about Northman Coaching, how it was born, created, how it's growing, my thoughts on life in general. It was
Friday.
It was what?
Next Friday.
Oh, it drops on Friday.
Next Friday.
Great. I can't wait. I hope I fall asleep Thursday and don't wake up till Sunday. I don't want to.
I can't wait to hear it.
It was amazing. It was like I said, it was amazing. It was an honor. But her podcast comes out every Friday on all major platforms. Definitely Spotify. But I think it's all major platforms.
Yeah, they're on.
Yes. So this past Friday, she interviewed her husband Joel about his book and his life experience with a May-December relationship. And today she interviewed me, which will be coming out Friday. I am excited to see what it sounds like.
Yeah, I look forward to it too. That's great. But yeah, before we go any further, guys, I want to throw this out there again. Like I said, the only difference between the situation that I'm in now and the situation I was in when I just completely trashed my life, my marriage, my abilities as a parent, as a friend, it's the fact that I joined a brotherhood. I found a life coach and I went back to God and I put the work in on all areas. The situation still exists. They're not going anywhere, but that does not have to define the man I am as a father, the man I am as a husband or the brother that I am. So our brotherhood in specific, the Northman Coaching School Brotherhood, is just, it changed my life. It changed my life significantly. And to any men out there, I have to truly give it to Gary. You will not find a better life coach. There are other great coaches out there that are as good as Gary, without a doubt, like C.E. Shuffler. If you are looking for a great life coach that also works with motivation and fitness, then just like Gary, he is top notch. You can find him on TikTok at CE Shuffler. Watch his posts. He goes live. He has several lives throughout the week. His Mountain Standard Time, and I'm not good at getting that down pat.
2 hours behind us.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm a
Whatever that is.
little off. So, yeah, but he goes, like I said, it's CE Shuffler. If you're looking for a life coach that's very motivational and also very disciplined and fitness based, you should definitely go and check him out.
But what AJ is really trying to say is you want you to remember the first part, that there is no better life coach than WAP. So Cliff is a close second. So
there you go.
Love you, Cliff.
So I wanna read a Bible verse myself that I have down. I always like to find I would like to read 1 Peter.
All right, so I wanted to know, what was it like for you to be, when you realized you were a hardened husband?
It was lonely. It was lonely. It was full of arguments, full of stress, full of depression. I think as men, most of us know that gut-wrenching feeling that you get in your chest, you know, which I now understand a lot more, having panic attacks consistently, but that's what I kind of felt very consistently. It just destroyed who I was as a man. It destroyed me.
So now, doing this work, I'm assuming you must feel like you are a tempered husband.
Oh, very much so.
And what does that look like compared to what you felt earlier?
I do not lose my patience with my wife. I am very gentle with my wife. I respect that she is a woman and that she is built off of nurturing and emotion. I make sure that everything I do is thought out before it's done. I think before I speak so that I don't hurt her feelings. I remember how easily it is to upset her, especially when something has gone wrong. Something just went wrong significantly the other day.
Yes. You handled yourself amazingly. So tell that story real quick.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so all right, let's hope my father-in-law never jumps on here. So,
or not, maybe you don't want to tell.
My wife took my father-in-law's ATV out to go and do some plowing, and she pulled the winch up too high. And the pulley system that is connected to hold the plow, it went up into the winch. It snapped the front of the winch entirely, and of course snapped the line, the cable for the winch. Yeah, she comes up the driveway, she's crying, she's panicking, and I just told her, honey, it's okay. It's okay. It was a mistake. I gave her a hug, and she couldn't stop. And then she's laughing. Excuse me, I'm sorry. When she first came up, she was laughing hysterically. That's right. She was laughing hysterically. And I knew something was really bad, because when she's laughing like that, it's utter panic. And then it went right to the tears. But I told her, and she even asked me, how are you being so calm about this? Like, I know the thousands of dollars that this mistake just made. And I know we don't have the money to fix this. Well, no. But I asked her, do you already feel terrible? Are you already upset, beating yourself up about what happened? Are you not already afraid of the reaction from your father, of the reaction from me because of the money and fixing it? Is that not already going through your mind? And she said, yeah, of course it is, but I deserve to be told like how bad I screwed up. Like, this was so unacceptable. Like, mistakes like this can't happen. I'm like, no, honey, that's life. And I gave her a big hug and I held her, and she pulled away from me. And I thought to myself in that moment, why is she pulling away from me? And she looked at me and she was like, I don't understand. What don't you understand, sweetheart? I don't understand why you're being calm and you're giving me a hug and telling me it's going to be okay, you'll fix it. She goes, this is the man that I married.
I love it.
And I'm like, that melted my heart. That was what she saw in the moment. That showed me that all the work that I've put into changing who I was and who I became because of my accident, I don't want to say is just gone. Because honestly, just like with steel, you have to keep the repetition. You have to repeat. And I said this to Gary earlier. I don't ever allow myself to forget about where I came from and how I got there. And by doing so, I don't have to worry about making those mistakes again because I remind myself of them every day, every day. So I can't ever slip because as men, we have a tendency of being sorry, feeling it like we're genuinely sorry. What happens is things get good, they go back to normal, and we forget all about it. And those negative things come back out.
Yep. Before I go any further, there's some weird chatter going on here. There's I don't know, this dude at Too Fast for You 1010 is talking about kissing dudes or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you kiss dudes, bud? Because
he kisses dudes.
Not
Anyway.
going to go on that. Just please not in our podcast because this is built
dudes
in
elsewhere.
This is podcast is built in faith. I'm losing my words here, trying to just think about that. Okay.
Special people out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, since I'm not a husband anymore, as a father, when I first went through the fire or was working my way through the fire, I was constantly trying to correct my daughter, and I never affirmed anything. Like I never said she was doing a good job because I know that I screwed up, and I wanted her to never screw up the way I screwed up. I was very, very hard on her. Now that I've been through the fire, I find myself much more disciplined around her, and I'm calm and I'm loving, I'm warm, I'm clear, I'm connected, but I make sure that I'm disciplined, and that I what I say is what I mean, and she understands that.
So
and
you
always
what?
Affirming, telling her that she's doing a great job. But I'm also telling her she's doing a bad job, or she could do better when she needs to hear that.
When she can.
I don't just blow the smoke up her ass. I make sure that she understands through and through.
That's good. That's awesome. So, but you were afraid that she would make the mistakes that you made, correct?
Just mistakes in general. Just not being a people pleaser. And Ringmaster Chris is here, but he has to leave. He's having put his girls to bed. So thank you for jumping in for a minute. I do appreciate you,
coming in, brother.
So I knew she wasn't going to make the same mistakes that I made because she is a lot younger than me, obviously.
But mistakes in general.
But the people pleasing and that's really where it starts, especially for a young girl. Like people pleasing will lead you to be the female version of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was definitely afraid of that happening.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a scary thing, right? Daughters grow up to go after a man like their father.
Yes,
and that's why it's so important that we're good role models and we set the tone for our households like Jesus told us to.
Yes, and if my daughter, when she finds a man, I want him to be like the current version of me versus the previous version of me.
Right.
So,
and that's all we can do is we do the best to run our households as God-fearing men that don't overreact, that do affirm, that do have love, that do have biblical masculinity. Yes. And we hope that by doing that, by walking the right roads and exemplifying those type of behaviors, that our children will follow. And I'm here to tell you it works, because my children are now right behind me. My children are in church every Sunday. And I have adult children, and I didn't think that my adult children who don't live at home anymore would follow by the example. But it just goes to show that being a parent, it doesn't stop because they turn 18. It doesn't stop because they turn 21 or because they finish college or because they have a career or buy a house or even their own children. Because my second oldest is about to have his second son, and he just made it a promise to himself first, which was the best. Hearing him say that it wasn't for me. It wasn't because his other brothers were going. It was for himself first. but it shows that my example, even for him as a father now, still matters that much. And
So it
that's
doesn't end at
important.
18?
Doesn't what? End at
Doesn't end at
18?
18?
You're buried, dude. I got boys. You're buried, bud. You are buried. Don't
Shoot.
ever forget it.
By 18. See you later.
No, you're buried. You are done.
All right, read your last scripture, then let's
yeah,
go.
I'm going to read 1 Peter 1-7. Okay, this goes along with our topic tonight. These trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold. Through your faith is far more is far more precious than mere gold. So when your faith remains strong through many trials, it will bring you much praise and glory and honor on the day Jesus Christ is revealed to the whole. So, Dennis, good one. Good for you, Brother Bishop. Thank you. No, it doesn't end at 18. That is right. There is no end there. But yes, you will learn, and I have said this a couple of times now, and I actually had one person not agree with me, so I told him to go and test it. There is nothing questionable that you can have in life that you cannot find an answer to in the Bible. And for anybody out there that does question that, I challenge you. I challenge you to go and read through the Bible. There are actually many books out there that will actually break down every aspect of thing that you can go through in life, and it will tell you each part of the Bible. There's books that they separate Bible verses and put it into sections. There is always an answer, for our Creator has answered everything that we need answers to in life. If you can't find an answer to something, the reason is because God didn't mean for you to know it until you are finished with this life and you are on to your next, going home. Those are the only answers you're not getting that God has not set for us.
Okay. Before we wrap up, the last thing I want to say, since you went and threw that out there, is you're correct. The Bible has something for everything. And I found this yesterday, and this goes to all the men out there that are in the school or that work with me or whatever. This is from Ecclesiastics, and it's 4:10. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him who is alone when he falls and has not another to lift him up.
Amen.
That is what a men's group is all about. We are here to lift each other up through our hard work, through our good times, our hard times, our bad times, whatever times. We are here to lift each other up, and that is a job as a man, to lift your brother up. It says so in the Bible.
That's right.
Oldest book known to man.
That's right.
Anyway, all right, guys, so we're going to wrap this up. So that was the end. I want to challenge you guys out there actually to send me an email at gary@northmancoaching.com to sign up for your 60-minute call, or send some questions that you want AJ and I to answer about the men's group, about the school community, about coaching, about manhood in general, life in general. Unless you're the dude that likes to kiss dudes, I'm good. I can't answer any questions for you, but everything else, shoot us things.
Also, on the other hand, also at superior.mailman or AJ Deep Roots Hot Days, send us a message in there as well. If you're on TikTok, send us a message in there. If you have questions about the school, about the brotherhood, about the coaching call, about one-on-one coaching, or there's a topic that you'd like to hear us talk about, or a question you'd like us to answer on the Oak Values podcast on Sunday nights, send it to us. We also talk most mornings. Most mornings we have a coffee call. We go live for about 10-15 minutes. Just morning coffee, right? Prayer, brotherhood. So
you want something to talk about on those 15-minute calls? Shoot me a message. We'll talk about it. Shoot AJ a message. We'll talk about it.
Please do.
You want to come on and talk to us? We'll bring you on. Come on. Let's do this.
Absolutely.
Bring your coffee.
Yeah,
absolutely. And we didn't say it at all, and Joel just said it. Brick by brick, shoulder to shoulder.
Shoulder to shoulder.
Or shoulder to shoulder, brick by brick.
Shoulder to shoulder, brick by brick.
Listen, it was always brick by brick. You added that shoulder crap.
You got to walk shoulder to shoulder in order to build the brick by brick.
Not true.
If you don't have, well, I want to see you build the brick by brick with your one set of shoulders.
Just be slow. I got it. Be slow. Not in the blizzard, because it'll blow over.
Yeah.
Speaking of, is it coming down yet?
For anybody that's looking for their meal tomorrow, You can go to superior.mailman and thank him for the fact that your blistered mail will not be arriving till Friday.
Yes. If you want to see if you don't get your mail tomorrow and you want to complain, just call 1-800. No, never mind. Don't do that. You guys all have a great night. And
Have a great
we
night,
will see
Jack.
you tomorrow morning for our coffee call if we have power.
Sure.
And tomorrow night for our
Perspectives meeting.
Active and Mindset meeting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And if you're not part of the school and you want to join, 7 free days.
Yeah, that's
Join
right.
for 7 free days. Come to our call tomorrow. Come to the call on Wednesday, then Thursday, and Friday. If you don't like it, then quit.
That's right.
Be a quitter.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Do the best way you can do it. Like you said, you have 7 days free. You have the opportunity to come in and see Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday and see what a real brotherhood is about. Come in with a bunch of men that will stand shoulder to shoulder and help you build brick by brick and really build yourself back up. What's the worst that can happen? You wasted time fixing yourself and learning some positive information to help you build your life.
What a waste of time.
Imagine. All right, guys.
You guys have a great night.
Thanks for joining.
And
have a great night.
See you guys. And on to this.